Shabbat Shalom, Parashat Beha'alot. Aaron is told, as you elevate the candles, you need to rekindle them time and time again. And Aaron knows all too well that in fact his role is merely to rekindle a flame that is always there, the divine flame that always rests within the menorah. Yes, Aaron brings human flame towards the menorah, but only to symbolize the vast difference that exists between human contribution to this world, to the wonderful blessings of what God has placed in this world, the divine fire that is always there. It is often difficult for us in the course of our day-to-day lives to sense the presence of God. We have to work hard to recognize in everything that is around us the hand of God. I believe that in the heart of our parsha, we are taught a valuable lesson about the proceedings in which we need to seek out and feel the presence of God, to appreciate the gifts that God gives us. We learn about our nation as it struggled through its early days in the desert, and how it falters in its relationship with God because it has difficulty. It has difficulty with the miraculous presence that was sensed all the time. It is difficult to understand how a nation that saw the great miracles in Mitzrayim, saw the splitting of the sea, was present at the great moment of the giving of the Torah on Har Sinai, could find itself arguing over nonsense with God. Fighting with God when God is giving us gift after gift. We are given the man. We have no trouble finding food, no trouble finding water. Our clothing never wears out. God made the existence of life in the desert beautiful. Everything was given to us. And yet, the people complained and complained and complained. In the midst of the complaining, the Torah uses a very, very interesting small nuance to teach us something about the nature of the complaint. ויהי העם כמתאוננים רע בעיני השם. וישמע השם ויחר אפו, ותבער בם אש השם ותאכל בקצה המחנה. The fire of God, the same fire that existed in the menorah, burst out and consumed those at the outskirts of the camp. As Chazal teach us, it is the righteous ones that were punished. Those people that should have been there to guide the people. To guide those people that were feeling lost. But the nuance is in the first word, Vayeham ke mitonanim. Well, were they complaining or not? What does ke mitonanim mean? Ke implies as if. As if complaining. They weren't really complaining, they were as if complaining. And this was enough to invoke the fury of God. The explanation is given to us shortly after that, when we hear their complaints about the manna. What were their complaints about the man? Oh, we are sick and tired of this terrible bread. After all, Chazal tell us that this wonderful man tasted like anything that people wanted it to. The Midrash teaches us that all you had to do is put the man in your mouth, think about whatever you wanted, and that's what it would taste like. Oh, you're in the mood for a wonderful silverware steak. Ah, delicious. Good. Now I'm in the mood for a wonderful milkshake. Oh, no problem of meat and milk. No problem at all. Just imagine it, and it tastes just perfect. Anything that you could imagine it would taste like. But of course, this only worked for those that were pure of heart. Curiously, the Torah tells us, what did the people do with this man? Shatu ha'am velaktu, they wandered around and they gathered it. V'tachanu v'rechaim, o dachu b'medocha, uvishlu b'perur, v'asu ta'ugot, v'yata'amo ketam l'shad ha'shamen. Oh, they grinded it, and fried it, and cooked it. They worked so hard on preparing it in so many different ways. Why? Why work on preparing it in so many different ways if all you needed to do is take it and eat it and it will taste whatever you want it to taste like? Because it required appreciating the gifts that God gives us. But that can only be done from the status of purity of heart. It required the total acknowledgement of the power of Hashem over our lives and the gifts that Hashem gives us. And human nature is that we like to attribute things to our own abilities, to our own power. The people walking through the desert, as much as they appreciated the presence of God, also wanted to feel a little bit of a distance. They wanted to feel somewhat of independence. They didn't want to have everything miraculously handed down to them. By doing so, they wanted to make believe they are in control. They wanted to create a facade in which they are really controlling their lives. Oh, we all live with this facade. We live with this facade in every day of our lives. We try very often to forget the hand of God around us. We don't work hard to see the presence of God in everything that we do. We tend to tap ourselves on the shoulder with everything that we do, with every one of our accomplishments. How often do we really appreciate God's guidance and providence over our actions when we succeed? Oh, we're very quick to complain to God when things go bad. When we long for something and we don't have it, we know exactly where to place the blame. But we're not very quick to rush and thank God for our success, to thank God for our achievements. We think that it is us. We think that it is our own power and might that does it. The Torah teaches us in this parsha that no matter what desert you're walking through, no matter what challenges you have of life, you need to acknowledge the presence of God. If you do acknowledge the presence of God, you will feel His power all around you. You will sense the clouds of God circling around. You will understand that the flame of God is present all the time. All you need to do is take a step closer. Make an effort and appreciate the help that God gives you. But if you try to ignore the hand of God, if you try to live your life in such a way in which you think you are the power that is making everything happen around you, sooner or later, the fire of God will consume you, and you will lose everything that you have built. We, as a nation, were formed through the pits of fire of the challenges of life in the desert. We as individuals need to accept the same challenge and attempt in everything that we do to feel the presence of God and to appreciate all that He does for us. May the candles rekindle within our hearts, and may the flame that we feel, the burning desire inside to long for the presence and feeling of God, become stronger and light up the world around us. Shabbat Shalom.